What is up, YouTube? Welcome to this Legends of Tomorrow video. Now, I kind of feel that this episode was really weak, to be honest. I think that this episode is, and should have been, very, very good. But it just came down to be completely and utterly boring and an absolute non-event. So, one thing we did get from this episode is we got Rip Hunter back. Well, we got our original Rip Hunter back. We've had Rip Hunter on the show since it's come back, from Christmas that is. But here we actually have got Rip Hunter, the Time Master we know and love, and he's got his duster back on. And so that's that, which is really, really good. So the episode really did move forward the whole Vixen-Nate relationship. And I love the fact that we got a Mari reference there. Her granddaughter, well, Ray Palmer is actually warning Nate, don't get with her because you may fuck up time. And Vixen, and at least Mari as well, are more important than themselves because the legends were picks. Because they are not legends and they have zero impact on the timeline. And something here I think is interesting, that Ray Palmer actually met Mari on the second season of Vixen on CW Seed. So, quite interestingly, I think that possibly Nate could be the father or the great-grandfather. It could lead to her being born, which would be a very interesting time aberration. And let's not forget that Nate was chosen, or wasn't chosen. He actually forced himself onto the Legends of Tomorrow team and wanted to get involved. So we don't know what his impact on the timeline actually is. So we had a sort of dream sequence episode with them going, or Sarah going into Rip's mind, which is, or has seemingly been, a terrible, terrible place, where we saw the existence or the physical embodiment of Gideon. Now, I thought it would be his wife. This was what would happen, but Gideon is obviously featured on The Flash as well. When Eobard Thawne came to the Earth, we saw that featured. Gideon has been featured on across the actual shows. So I thought that it would be a good opportunity to make it his wife or a relation to himself. But I kind of feel these things when they go into their mind don't really work that well. I mean, upcoming on The Flash next week, we've got Barry to go into the Speed Force and see some kind of weird madness. We saw Eddie on the show again. We saw Ronnie Raymond as well in the promo for next week's episode. So I don't know what they're doing there, but I find these kind of things really weak. Just like we saw Deadshot on Arrow. It was all a dream, all these dream sequences. I don't really like them. It allows them to bring characters back or show different versions of the characters without messing with the actual storylines. So we've got them looking for the final piece of the spear, which the evil Rip Hunter, so before he reformed or rebooted, well, we had him crash the ship because, well, he is still the captain, isn't he? Let's be honest. And, well, we ended up where we found Ray Palmer back on Jurassic Park, and I was just sitting there like, oh, I don't care. You've had such interesting time periods. You've got the whole of history to explore, and then you go to, well, a glorified Jurassic Park. And then we see a really cringy scene with Vixen where she uses her power to take on Gertrude, which I thought was really, really weak, and I didn't think it could get much worse than last week, but it did this week. And the whole plot device of them being able to go throughout time should give us interesting episodes. But 2 weeks on the trot, we've had uninteresting episodes. But next week, we're going to Hidden Figures territory. We're getting to go to the moon with Apollo 13, which, well, it can't have been on the moon because I don't think Apollo 13 actually landed on the moon. So if you haven't seen Apollo 13, that is a great movie. I'm not really sure. I may have mixed up my whole space Apollo numbering system there. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure you bloody well. You always do when I get something wrong. But that's what's going to happen next week on the show. So I expect some kind of space craziness next episode as we head towards and get the final piece of the Spear of Destiny. But I think that the Legion of Doom will actually take it and do something mad with it. So that's it for this video. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Pooh!